Hey there, Futures Fanatic. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rod, your Futures Fanatic. Futures Fanatic is part of TDG. That's the Traders Dev Group, where I provide education for active futures traders and self-directed investors. Hey, tonight I'm going to talk about, this is a little bit more detailed, so you can click off if this doesn't apply to you, but how you can trade multiple prop accounts, multiple prop firms on the same platform, on different platforms. That's what I'm going to talk about tonight. So first of all, the use case for this. Why would you do this? Why would you have multiple accounts or multiple prop firms? And by the way, if you know very little about prop trading or futures prop trading, this is the spot for you. Hit the like, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, because that's what I've begun to focus this channel on, is how you can use very little of your own money to potentially get access to no risk capital and trade the futures markets while you learn and earn. It's great stuff. But some of you that are advancing in your early careers with these prop firms are asking me how you can actually, or how I trade quite a bit of these. I'm fortunate to have, at this point, over $3 million of notional value funded. I'm always going through and testing out new evaluations, and there's a lot going on. So how can you actually do that stuff? So, but first, back to why you'd want multiple prop accounts. Now, there's two things you can do. You can buy multiple accounts at the same firm. Those are pretty easy to trade. You just use a drop down in something like Ninja. I'll show you that in just a moment. Or what's a little bit more complicated is if you choose different prop firms and you have a couple accounts at each prop firm, or just one at each prop firm. Now, why you'd want to do that is just the standard stuff. You just want to diversify, right? This business is moving very quickly. There's no problem in diversifying across a couple different firms. You know, don't put all your eggs in one basket, yada, yada. The other aspect to it is that each firm has some slightly different rules sometimes. So that's great. You can use different rules and trade the accounts slightly differently. So many of cases for why you'd want to potentially have more than one account. Now, here's the problem. All of these firms, almost all of them, use this thing called Rhythmic, okay? So I have RTrader Pro up here. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. So they use this data connection called Rhythmic, and that's wherein lies the problem, because you're only allowed to be logged into one Rhythmic connection at a time per platform. So let me give you an example of what that means. Over here on Ninja, which is the most popular of the platforms that these firms use, I have a multi-broker license, but this confuses a lot of people. Okay, a multi-broker license is a paid license, costs about $1,500. It's a one-time payment. You own it forever. If you're serious about your trading, it's a great investment. You don't have to make it when you're first starting out, but most of folks that are serious about retail trading of futures are going to have a Ninja license, and especially if you're going to be trading with some of these prop firms. Now, they have these concepts that are called multi-broker, which is this license, but it's not really a multi-broker license. What it is it's a multiple connection license. So here are all the connections that I've configured on my Ninja license, this particular instance of Ninja. Now, I'm not going to go in tonight to how you actually create all the configurations and connections. It's actually pretty easy, and most of the prop firms show you how to do that. But right now I'm logged into Continuum Live, which is a live Ninja account using a different data feed than this Lilu account. This is a Lilu account. Now, I cannot log into Apex right now. Let me show you and see what it'll do if I try to log into Apex. It's going to probably give me an error. Maybe it won't. Let's see if it'll allow me to log into Apex at the same time. Potentially it will. So that's going to allow it. But at some point, you're not going to be able to connect to multiple Rhythmic on the same particular connection, okay? Just trust me, you can't do that. So there's a couple things you can do if you wanted to trade the same accounts at the same time without using the drop down. The first thing is that firms like Apex and all these now offer this second form login. So you can come and get a second form login. Here's the little form. And basically what this does, you can read this on your own, is it allows you to log into multiple platforms at the same time and trade your accounts from that firm, okay? So that would allow you to trade like on Rhythmic, the Rhythmic platform, at the same time that you're on Ninja. I'll also point out that over here, let's see, I have this little picture from UProfit. This is true for most of these firms. They're pointing out that while NinjaTrader is preferred, there are all these other platforms that you can actually trade your account on if you're on Rhythmic. I don't trade on any of these. I do have a quant tower, and you generally have to have a paid version of these licenses, whereas with the prop firm, they're going to give you a license to NinjaTrader. But just know that all these exist. So for instance, you could log into your Apex account on Ninja, and then you could log into Bookmap, or you could log into Quant Tower without an additional Rhythmic connection. You don't need an additional Rhythmic connection to necessarily do that. However, in some instances, you will have to pay for an additional connection, and then you can be logged into 2 different instances at the same time from the same account. It does get a little wonky. Now, let me tell you, one combination that always works for the most part is a firm that uses CQG instead of Rhythmic. You can use that and Rhythmic at Ninja at the same time if you have a multi-broker license. So CQG is another data gateway. They have their own platform as well. Now, CQG is used at Earn to Trade, and it's also used at Top Step Trader. And pretty soon, it's going to be featured at a lot of these firms. So this might change pretty soon, where there'll be multiple data feeds, and you will be allowed to trade multiple accounts on the same on 2 different platforms from the same broker at the same time. But for now, basically, you create these various different connections, or you either pay for another connection. That's one way you can do it. Here's another way you can do it. You can actually get I'm dragging over an entire new instance of NinjaTrader in a VPS. Okay, so I like Ninja Mobile Trader. I'll put it down below. You can get a link to save like 10% off the monthly fee. The plans range from like $50 to $100. So when you really start to advance, you can actually just create a VPS, put an entire another instance of Ninja on there, and then you're good to go. You can log into Bullnox or UProfit or Lilu or Apex on one instance, and then you could log into the other firm on the other instance, and you can run it all on the same machine. So that's another route you can go. And I really like this VPS. It works super. It's almost like it's a local instance of Ninja right on my desktop. All right. So that's that. Let me just check my notes real quick. Yeah, I mean that's essentially the way it kind of goes. So coming back over here real quick, you can all these various connections that I could make, but I'm not allowed to log into all of these at the same time. So how would you manage multiple accounts? Again, you can buy an additional connection and then trade on 2 different platforms. You could use a VPS and then actually log into another instance of Ninja. NinjaTrader does allow you to have 2 license keys or 2 IPs per license key if you have a paid version of it. So you can put it on 2 different machines. You could put it on your primary machine and a laptop. You could put it on your primary machine and a VPS running on that same machine. So that's another potential option that you could go with there. Of course, you can also trade your live accounts and your prop accounts at the same time if you're at something like Ninja, because Ninja uses a different data feed than most of these prop accounts are currently using. And this stuff is all in flux, and it might change. It might change over time, but for now, that's how those things go. Now, if you stuck around to this very end, I do want to let you know that I have special codes for Lilu right now. That it's the 5% matching. You might want to check it below. I'll pop it up here on the screen, as you can see as well. These are exclusive codes, and as far as I know, these are the best deals you can get out there right now. The $25,000 to $100,000 account lifetime. That means the recurring subscription is only going to cost you like between $40 and $100. The $50,000 is only like $51. Fantastic deal, 70% off. Lock that in while you can. Those are going to be good through March. Use the codes that you'll see in the description below. And again, if you sign up you can sign up for up to 5 of those per account size. So if you bought 5 of the $50,000 ones, you would log in and you could see all of your Lilus right here, and you can trade them all on at the same time. So that's kind of cool. Actually, as I'm making this video, I think there's something happening where I was not able in the past to log into Apex and Lilu on the same instance. It doesn't have to do with me having a multi-broker license. So Lilu might have changed their back-end data feed or something. There's something happening there. Hopefully that all makes sense. There's a lot to cover here. Leave a comment down below if you want to continue the conversation. I'd be happy to answer some questions about this, because I know it's not extremely clear. And as I'm talking, I'm not really sure if I've made it more clear or overwhelmed you or confused everybody. But subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and you can continue the conversations in the comments, and we'll keep this thread going to make sure that everyone understands the various ways in which they can participate in more than one prop program and manage that on different platforms at the same time. That'll be it for tonight. My name is Rod, the Futures Fanatic, reminding you to stay green and trade like you mean it. Thanks.